So you just opened your mail and found a wage garnishment order for one of your employees. Maybe you're thinking, what exactly am I supposed to do with this? Don't worry, this is something employers sometimes have to deal with, and I'm here to walk you through exactly what you need to know. Hi, my name is Noel Lorenzana. I'm a registered certified public accountant and one of OnPay's expert contributors. Today we're talking about wage garnishments and how they come into play when managing payroll. If this is your first time dealing with one, it can feel a little overwhelming, but once you understand the basics, it's really just another part of the payroll process. Let's start with the basics. A wage garnishment is when a court or government agency orders you as an employer to take money directly out of your employee's paycheck to pay a debt they owe. It's not a request, it's a legal requirement. The most common types are for child support payments, but you might also see them for unpaid taxes, student loans, or other court judgments. The key thing to understand is that by the time you get this order, all the legal decisions have already been made. Your employee owes the money, and now you're being asked to help collect it. Here's what's happening in plain English. A court or government agency has decided that your employee owes money, maybe for child support, unpaid taxes, or student loans. Instead of trying to collect directly from your employee, they're asking you to take the money out of their paycheck and send it to them. Think of yourself as the middleman. You're not making any decisions about whether the money is owed. That's already been decided. Your job is to simply follow the instructions in that order you received. Let's break it down into steps and talk about what the order is telling you to do. First, read the order carefully. Yes, it may look like a lot of legal language, but it contains everything you need to know. How much money to take out of each paycheck, where to send the money, when to start taking it out, sometimes when to stop. The amount you'll need to withhold usually ranges from about 15 to 50% of their take-home pay, depending on what type of debt it is. Child support garnishments tend to be on the higher end, while other debts might be less. And here's an important detail. You calculate this from their net pay. That's after you've already taken out taxes. So if someone takes home $1,000 after taxes, and the garnishment is for $200, they'll get $800 in their paycheck. One more thing. If your employee gets tips, commissions, or bonuses, those usually count too. The order should specify this, but when in doubt, just include it all. Now let's talk about the conversation you need to have with your employee. This part can feel awkward, but it's important. Your employee might already know this is coming, but they might not. Either way, you should let them know privately that you've received the order. They might say things like, "I can't afford this right now," or "You don't really have to do this, do you?" Here's the thing. Once you get that order, you don't have a choice. It's not optional. You're legally required to follow it. But you can't explain it in a way that shows you understand this isn't easy for them. You might say something like, "I received a court order requiring me to withhold money from your paycheck. I know this isn't what you want to hear, but I'm legally required to follow it. Let me explain what this means for your paychecks going forward." The good news is that garnishments don't last forever. They end in one of three ways. First, if the employee leaves your company, you're done. Just make sure to notify whoever sent you the order that they no longer work for you. Second, the order might have an end date built in, maybe when the debt is calculated to be paid off. Keep track of this date so you know when to stop. Third, sometimes the employee works out a different arrangement to pay off the debt, and you'll get a notice telling you to stop the garnishment. Here's how to make this less of a headache. Many agencies have online portals where you can send payments electronically and track everything. It's much easier than mailing checks. If you use payroll software, check if it has a garnishment feature. Many do, and they can automate a lot of this once you set it up. You can also charge your employee a small administrative fee for handling this. Most states allow it, though there are limits on how much. Check with your state's labor department for the specifics. And remember, keep copies of everything: the orders, the payments you send, and any correspondence. You might need these records later. Now look, dealing with wage garnishments isn't a fun part of running a business, but once you've handled your first one, you'll realize it's really just about following instructions. The court or agency has done the hard work of figuring out what's owed. You're just the one making sure it gets paid. If you have questions about your specific situation, don't hesitate to reach out to your accountant or the agency that sent the order. They want you to get this right just as much as you do. And if you need more information on managing garnishments or a payroll provider that makes it easy to process them, check out OnPay. We've included links to more resources in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for more expert tips on managing your payroll process.